What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Go Long podcast. Jim, put her there.
Fattey?
How's it going? A day trip to Fattey, Hamburg.
I like day Fattey time.
Yeah, it's nice. A little cold out.
I was
a little cold.
Anybody that watches the show, you're in a t-shirt right now. I don't know how.
No, it's not that bad.
Disagree. Anyway, for the time of year, I feel like I'll just say it. Put me in a little bit of a bad mood. Love the sun. Need the sun to work. Need a little more warmth in May. Anyway.
OTAs, your favorite time of year.
Well,
OTAs. Power rankings, Mount Rushmores.
What could we do? Power rankings are huge right now.
Oh, man.
We have OTAs, routes on air. We have some 7-on-7 interceptions going on that are big deals. We have quarterbacks that are blowing people away with their knowledge. Quarterbacks that are our boy Richardson, they had no idea that he was way ahead of schedule against Air. So things are right.
Air can put up quite a fight this time.
Things are right on par, I think, for what I call horse racing season.
Yes.
That's why it's horse racing season. Those matter more than OTAs.
I mean, we can justifiably mock that narrative because I turned on the TV during rookie camps, and sure enough, on national broadcast, we've got reporters dispatched chronicling the ups and downs,
it's everything.
Mostly ups, the breakthrough moments of these rookie quarterbacks. It's like, for the love of God.
They learn quicker than we thought. Guys are in shape.
Best shape of my life.
Best shape life. It's all the same cliche time.
Just like a certain running back you had there in Buffalo. Showed up in the best shape of his life.
Best
in
shape.
OTAs.
We know who it was.
Open invite for that running back still. Come on.
Remember
he blew us off?
Yeah, that was this. It's the episode that and Whaley's in.
Doug Whaley is ready to chat with Carlos Williams. We'll just say that. I think it will be a great conversation.
It should be a great conversation. It should have been.
We'll pour ourselves some bleach and just hope for the best.
Rookie of the year in the NFL.
He was damn good.
He was a really good pick. 5th round.
So I guess you're not always in the best shape of your life then. Maybe when we hear best shape of my life, it could mean something. I did see a picture of Desmond Ridder. He was looking tough. His bicep was protruding.
Okay, now you got me. Since
I
made their future bet over 7.5 wins this year, what's the latest? What can I get excited about my wager on the Atlanta Falcons?
I'll get back to you, in a week or two. I'm taking a trip.
Go Long
is hitting the road. Next week, I'll be flying to Jacksonville. Going to spend some time around the Jags, and then going to get a rental car. Shoot up to Atlanta for a couple days. So it'll be interesting. I mean, these are two really fascinating teams. I think that, we've talked about both. But I think Jacksonville, kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, I think they're a Super Bowl contender. I do. I don't think that's crazy to think. The way Trevor Lawrence finished the season, the talent that they've accumulated, both sides of the ball.
Ooh, you spark me. This
is a team that we all just kind of dismiss because the Jacksonville Jaguars were almost preconditioned to expect a cataclysmic series of events. But, Urban Meyer is grinding on women in other cities now. Probably preparing for his next job, getting that resume, polishing off that resume. Hey, what do you put on your resume under Jacksonville Jaguars if you're Urban Meyer?
There's no way anybody's ever asked to see his resume.
No.
So we don't need to worry.
Well, they have to now, right?
What do you need to see? Or what don't you know? Or what, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe
There's nothing that you're either going to hire him or you're not.
Not in the literal sense of a resume.
How do you?
He's sitting down to interview for pick your job.
Yeah,
somewhere in college, and probably a power school, right?
Yeah. Oh, it would be some. Oh,
so sure. They ask you, Urban. You're Urban Meyer. Urban, explain yourself. Your team plays in Cincinnati. You lose. You don't fly back with the players.
Rings. Next. Rings, alumni happy, Neil deals for recruits.
But Urban, you took your finger and you fondled a young co-ed.
Attention, these rings, the attention will be on me and not the players.
then you're going to write another book and cut some more checks
with another national team. Yes, and then Fox will hire me again for a season or two, so I can wear sunglasses and not really talk. Mm-hmm. He has figured it out. I always respect people's hustle. I respect the hustle, Urban. And you got rings.
Good family man.
I respect the hustle.
Sounds like you think he should have stuck around.
You know how I feel about the 30 for 30 needs to get done in Florida. And it can just go – now it can go as long as you want. It can go to Ohio State. It can go to Jacksonville. I mean, the heck with 30 for 30. We have a mini-series, HBO.
It is a fun time of year, though. Hope is in the air everywhere you turn. So – tell me, Jim, where do you want to start this pod? We were kind of BS and we're thinking, maybe we talk NFC.
Real quick on Jacksonville, because you sparked me with Super Bowl contender. Are you sure about that, or is that? Here's where I'm at with this.
I'm positive.
Okay, it's a fair statement. They're in the playoffs, so naturally, if you're in the playoffs, you're a contender. Now, remember, I'm still bitter from that playoff game because that cost the Chargers. I'm a little upset about that game. I personally. Nice win for Jacksonville. Give you credit. But really, bad loss for the Chargers. So really, to me, they were one and done in my eyes. Okay?
But they won, Jim. They won. You got to get
Here's where I'm going with it. I'm not. But that's fine. They got into the playoffs in the AFC. I'm still looking at their team as I feel like Trevor Lawrence, we talk about it a lot. I saw signs of he's better. But he's still not in that class yet. That next game was pretty bad for Jacksonville, right? I mean, you can't go out like that.
It was a game into the fourth quarter in Kansas City.
Anyway, I'm not there yet to say Super Bowl. Not in the AFC. I think they're way, way far behind. As far as – because I still feel like Herbert's – I'm still looking at Herbert, Lamar as these guys that we not forgot about. Yeah, but they're coming. I just feel like they're way ahead of Trevor Lawrence. That's just where I struggle with the Super Bowl part. Are they a team that's going to – yes. They are right in that probably 8-9 win, right? They're going to be there. You got to show up to beat them. They're going to beat some teams you don't think. You don't want to play them in the playoffs, that type of team. But are they really good enough to get to the Super Bowl? That would be a leap I didn't see coming from Trevor Lawrence. Where he needs to take a leap for them to get to the Super Bowl because he has to beat.
I feel like he did take that leap, though.
I don't know about leap.
And
I saw improvement. I can't say leap.
About mid-November to the finish line. Statistically, this is where I should have done my homework ahead to really strengthen my argument.
Well,
I want to say his numbers were as good as any quarterback in the NFL the last 2 months of the season. Really. They came on. He was a big reason why. Things clicked in Doug Peterson's offense, which isn't – it's not easy to run. I think him and Press Taylor both did a really good job of kind of mirroring what – every coach says this. We're going to take what he does well and put it. But they really
do.
Genuinely do it. I feel like
we talk. I respect Doug Peter. Hey, Super Bowl and then goes and turns them around like that. That's a coach. So Doug Peterson, 2 thumbs up. I think they have the right coach. I believe in Trent Baalke as a DM. I think he has a proven track record of talent. I think that owner actually stays out of the way.
Yeah.
So if Trevor Lawrence is good, like that 4 that we always talk about, owner, GM, it's coming together. The question for me is Trevor.
See, I guess I don't have the cloud over the name of Trevor Lawrence in my head. I feel like he answered a lot of those questions. Yeah, some of the throws, the deep outs, the feathering over the linebacker before the safety.
Definitely saw some good.
Needed athleticism.
Definitely.
It was bad that first half against the Chargers, really bad.
But definitely saw enough good this year to say.
But to mentally overcome that, when everything is going wrong in that game,
I like
everything.
The way he fights. I like the way he fights.
To even put yourself in position for the game to be competitive. 28-0?
It's still hard to believe. I agree. It takes an absolute choke. Fall down job by a coach.
They chargered their way through that.
Coaches don't win games, but coaches can lose games.
Well, they got rid of Anthony Lynn, though. So there you go. Just ridiculous. Anyway. He really fell on some swords out there as the head coach for the Chargers. It's whatever demonic presence is ruining that franchise. It appears to still be residing in SoFi as a co-tenant of the Rams. But look at the weapons that Trevor Lawrence has around him. Maybe this is where we're different. I feel like it's better than what people think. When Christian Kirk, everybody was
I'm a huge
killing
fan.
that signing.
No,
He's worth every penny.
Yeah. I like Kirk.
I mean, he is. Not many teams really have a vertical threat slot. Somebody you slide inside and he can go downtown.
I think the only thing we're going to disagree on right now is just where Trevor Lawrence is at. I think they're loaded. I like the coach.
Zay Jones.
Yeah. So go ahead. Yeah.
Calvin Ridley.
Huge. Love this receiving core. Go ahead.
Especially when you're maybe a receiver away on offense and that it's going to be a weak free agency group. I mean, really, when Juju Smith-Schuster and who else got signed? Jacoby Myers, Alan Lazard. Alan Lazard gets $44 million over 4 years. Like they didn't back themselves into that corner. They acquired Calvin Ridley via trade during the season and said, all right, you're suspended.
Legit playmaker.
Evan Ingram, one of the best receiving tight ends. They planned ahead at center. Luke Fortner, drafting him out of Kentucky. It seems like him and Trevor Lawrence have a good rapport. I mean, what about Travis Etienne? I mean, he was a stud by the end of the year. And then I think defensively is where you do need to see some players take steps. I mean, Trevon Walker was the first overall pick. Devin Lloyd, Foye Oluokun, leading the league in tackles. Josh Allen, they need him to be a top 10, top 5 edge rusher. So, I mean, it's a really good defense, but maybe that's where you think, okay, if you're going to be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen,
you just
Joe Burrow.
You're not. AFC, Trevor Lawrence, stack the QBs. He's not even in your top. Is he even in your top 6?
All right, really? Let's do it right now.
Yeah, really. Like, you said it like it's easy.
Oh, yeah.
Go right now. Okay, go with the big 3. Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Burrow, 4. So now we're at 5. Herbert. We're at 6. You taking Trevor? You taking your boy Richardson for the Colts? You just told me he's the next great quarterback. Trevor can't get it done. We already know that. So you got to take Richardson. So he's behind Richardson. I don't know, man.
Hey, you're sleeping on Tua. I'm a Tua guy.
I would personally. That's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one too.
I think I'd go Trevor. I'd go Mahomes, Burrow, Allen.
No, you can't fix it. You're not taking him out of any of those 5.
Lamar and then
Lawrence. You're taking him over Herbert.
Yeah.
I can't really argue that. I mean,
you're right though. We actually do it. It's tougher.
Yeah, it's tougher, but I'm not going to argue that. They're very similar. I think Herbert's more talented. I'd love to see Herbert with Doug Peterson. I
think we're seeing why Devontae Adams might be a little perturbed by the front office right now. Murren Fader, former coworker of mine at the Bleacher Report, wrote another excellent story on Devontae Adams, and it just shows how great a reporter Murren is too. That Devontae opened up like that. You got some authenticity and some honesty. He's pissed off with where the Raiders are, and for good reason. When you look at all these quarterbacks,
what are they
we didn't even name a handful. I mean, Tua, Aaron Rodgers.
You're going to take Trevor over Aaron
Deshaun
Rodgers?
Watson.
Wait, you're going to take Trevor over Aaron Rodgers? I forgot he's in the AFC.
I forgot he was in the NFL. We almost lasted a half hour without bringing up Aaron Rodgers.
But this is the biggest news. Are you sure?
I'm positive.
You're taking Trevor Lawrence over Aaron Rodgers?
Yes. I would take Jordan Love over Aaron Rodgers right now.
Let's promote Fattey Beer during the day. The alcohol content in that beer.
No, I mean, it's really not that much. I just went with a sour. It's a K2 Resurgence collab. Where's it? 6.5.
I like the local support.
But, yeah, I get killed for saying that, but I really mean it.
You do.
I'd take Love right now over Rodgers right now. It's like people forgot
that's
that Aaron Rodgers wasn't really seeing the field that great last year. Physically, he wasn't the same last year. He was okay. He had fine moments. But what made him special, the last 2 of the 4 MVPs, was the relationship with Devontae Adams. The fact that I just talked to another source recently, Jim, and he said that these Packer teammates are thrilled to be with Jordan Love. Not necessarily as an anti-Rodgers take, but like with Aaron, it's stuff we've talked about, but I heard it again. He would audible to plays that he ran when they weren't even in the NFL. They're maybe in college if they're lucky. They weren't around. And that was the basis for his greatness when he's throwing the ball to Devontae Adams 160, 170 times in a season. Right. So I'm just saying.
I feel bad. We went on this. I didn't want to do Rodgers Love.
I'm just saying that I think that Love in this offense, with this team, with these weapons.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm more disagreeing with everybody out there who still can't wrap their minds around reality. That relationship was done.
So
in the NFC then, Jim, I mean, because now we just talked about the AFC.
They're quarterbacks. We know that's loaded. That's all. That's all we just said. No, the breaking news: Lawrence, Rodgers. I am taking that today. Come on, I say some crazy stuff.
How many
sometimes.
Wins? Yeah, I got a take for it. Before we move to the NFC, here's my sizzling take: the New York Jets will finish dead last in the AFC East, and Aaron Rodgers will not play for the Jets after this season.
I wouldn't disagree with that. Okay.
I mean, I get it. It's easy to say the Patriots are dead because it's fun for a lot of people, especially locally, to picture Bill Belichick finishing last in the division.
No,
I just can't.
I still don't think it's as easy as you just sign a quarterback who has not performed well in the playoffs, and you just snap your fingers, and you are automatically the best team in the AFC once again. With teams that are already established, fighting for Super Bowls year in and year out together. They haven't even made the playoffs as a team. So it's not like they're adding Aaron Rodgers to this playoff team. They're adding Aaron Rodgers to a potential team. We see potential. We do. We talk about it. But to your point, nothing would surprise me. I still think he's better than Trevor Lawrence.
Do you really, or are you just messing with me?
No.
You really think he's better than Trevor Lawrence?
I think it's close.
Oh, I thought you were just being.
Oh no, I would take Aaron Rodgers over Trevor. I would take Herbert over Trevor.
What's in that Pellegrino?
Yeah, I would. So you think I'm going to be considered crazy if I took Aaron Rodgers and Herbert?
I really thought you were
Trevor
just trying
Lawrence.
to needle me. You actually believe that?
I don't even think it's close.
I got to find a new co-host.
Wait, go through the AFC.
You got to take auditions.
I'm more trying to consider if I would take Tua or Trevor. I like Tua too, but that's my battle right now.
Man.
Yeah, I'm not even there with you.
I know we're both bald, and maybe you're a little jealous of his hair. Is that what it is, Jim?
God, even when I had hair, that wasn't going to be me. That only works for certain people. You can pull it off. Not for everybody. All right. NFC.
To the NFC.
I like the NFC.
We know Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate, got paid as such. He's, the best quarterback in the NFC. Is it clear cut?
That's where we're headed. Clear cut, no. Arguable, yes. Debatable, whatever. Yeah. He's up there.
Who's next? Who's the
next?
That's
why I was just gonna say. No. Here's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna fit. We're gonna fit Trevor in. Let's see where Trevor Lawrence is, because I have him ranked like 10th.
Trevor here.
I just don't know where you're going with it. I just can't believe we're saying he's taking this leap. Guy was that. I don't know. All right. I guess I like to make it. I don't like to anoint quarterbacks.
I'm not anointing him as the 5th best quarterback in the AFC and as a Super Bowl contending quarterback. He does have to take. You got to show it before you're.
No, but he's
mentioned in that same breath.
Okay. No, it certainly showed signs of life. That's how I like to say it. I thought he showed signs of life, and you see the good. Certainly see. All right, you pulling it up?
I'm pulling up his numbers. You're pulling up the NFC.
I'll get the number.
Okay. I think that there's just certain physical traits that you need. Because what does our conversation always come back to? We were hyping up the Falcons and the Lions on a recent pod and about their roster building, and for good reason. We love the way those teams are just trying to be different. But I think you made the point. A lot of it's out of necessity. You don't have this quarterback right now, so of course you're going to build a line, draft a running back, and spend like this in free agency.
Right.
What I'm saying is like Jacksonville, as much as any team that's not really mentioned in that same conversation as the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, like, they've got the right combination. Like they have a chance at quarterback to have a dude who can win that Super Bowl, that shootout, and the roster that's filling out. This is a roster I really think that has it's gonna, right, when you have that many top 5 picks.
Here's the best thing I'm just thinking about Jacksonville. I think they're clearly the best team in their division, which is such a good thing to be able to say when you're, before a season, like we always talk about. Win your division, they're the best team in that division. He's the best quarterback in that division. So, yeah, they automatically are contending for a Super Bowl, to your point. They will be in the playoffs. So, yes. All right, now let's go NFC.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go through. All right, let's just talk about – we're going to talk about the wide open. And when you really – sometimes you really do have to go through it and kind of go through names, and it makes you know how wide open.
I know, as much as we love to dismiss rankings and such, it is a fun exercise
it's more
to see.
To check yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So Hurts, we're going to go ahead with the Eagles, right, with Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, Stafford's coming back. We got Kyler Murray. We got Stafford. Derek Carr. Our favorite Kirk Cousins forever. I'm just Daniel Jones.
Cousins is probably number 2. I think Kirk Cousins is the second best.
I would take Stafford over Kirk. I'm like Derek Carr, Kirk.
I think Stafford's shot. I think he's done.
Okay, but if he's not shot, if he's as good as he was in the Super Bowl or good enough to win, say he was healthy enough, we deemed him healthy. Would you take him? I would take him over Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, when they went all out financially on all of the players that were around him, they're tearing that down now.
I'm not saying that. We're talking about the NFC and Kirk Cousins.
I don't think the Rams are going to be very good. I don't think Stafford's going to be very good.
That. I'm not disagreeing with you on any of that. I would just take Stafford over Cousins. But point being, we can't even find out who we would take after Hurts.
I know.
We're right there. Wide open. Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, blah, blah, right? It's blah, blah.
I mean, Dak Prescott
he's not good.
He'll be the last man standing there, but they're already looking for the lifeboats in Dallas, right? Mike McCarthy survived.
At this point, he got
rid of all his allies.
They've exhausted everything else in Dallas to this point. I think it's safe to say it's on Dak at this point a little bit.
When we had Bob McGinn on the happy hour, he covered Mike McCarthy longer than I did out there, obviously, and we were both a little surprised at the number of assistants he fired who were lifers. I mean, these were guys that Mike had in Green Bay that he brought to Dallas. He clashed with Kellen Moore famously. I mean, everybody else is starting to go. I mean, we know Jerry Jones, how this works. He would be next. Dak will outlast McCarthy.
I don't think so.
Really?
Nope.
You think that they would move on at quarterback?
What if I told you I think Mike McCarthy has a more impressive resume than Dak Prescott does?
Now, that's an interesting debate.
And if you've lasted this long with Mike McCarthy, to me, this should be – to me, if you believe in him as a coach and his foundation, what he's doing in that building, it's enough with Dak. It's time. The NFC is not good, and you're not getting to where you want to get with Dak Prescott.
But follow the money, like anything in life. Dak is making far more money. A lot more Benjamins going to Dak Prescott's bank account than Big Mike.
I don't think it's about money on that one.
With Jerry Jones, it's not about money? You think Jerry Jones is going to pick the head coach over the quarterback?
It wouldn't be about money. It would just because, he likes the head coach. I don't think he cares about money like that.
I think Jerry Jones looks at the head coach position as like, just give me somebody that I can kind of control. And that's always been the problem with the Cowboys.
I don't like to be too hard. I feel like, I guess I'm tired of the Mike McCarthy.
It was an okay hire. It was not an inspiring hire.
Fair. But did he deserve – so he got all the blame, correct, in Green Bay for not winning more Super Bowls with the quarterback who we're blaming for not being good enough to win. See, to me, it's like at what point can we – I'm not a believer in the coach being about wins and losses. about the quarterback. Mike McCarthy, I think, did a pretty damn good job in Green Bay. And I think he's done a pretty damn good job in Dallas, wins-loss-wise. We're so hard on people because they don't win. Mike McCarthy wins a lot of football games wherever he goes. So that, to me, is a formula. Dak Prescott was a fourth round. We've talked about it. He's maxed out. And I don't know if he's the answer at this point. We all like Dak Prescott, but I think he's had enough chances in an average conference where I'm not blaming the coach anymore. I'm blaming the quarterback.
Fair point.
That's where I'm at.
The problem, I think, is that it's probably the situation for both individuals. Both individuals are pretty maxed out. I know I like Dak more than you. I don't think Dak is done. I think he still has some intangibles and some special qualities that I think you can get to the Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. Right or wrong.
I think it's time.
So I would absolutely choose Dak 100 out of 100 times. But to answer your question on Green Bay, no, I don't think Mike McCarthy got all the blame. I mean, he got fired, right? They chose Aaron Rodgers over Mike McCarthy in that situation.
That's a no-brainer.
I think, though, I hope this was the takeaway for people who read my story at Bleacher Report in 2019, whenever it was. Aaron did his best to kind of skew the reality. The point of that story was never, it's all Aaron Rodgers' fault. It's all Mike McCarthy's fault. It's all Ted Thompson's fault. I kind of dissected all the above. It was kind of everybody.
Which is usually the case.
And it came back again and again to Rodgers. To McCarthy. McCarthy, where he was at fault, was his scheme. The X's and O's, it became stale. When they won the Super Bowl in 2010, it was so based on matchups and not a lot of motion, not a lot of misdirection, but this receiver we have is going to beat your DB. And look at the weapons they had. Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, Jermichael Finley, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb in 2011. They were loaded. So when you are that talented, when you are that deep,
just like
you're going to win those one-on-ones.
Just like they had with LaFleur.
Well,
loaded. Best receiver in the NFL. I mean, I don't know. At some point,
I'm just saying, he didn't really evolve when some of this talent was starting to get kind of siphoned off and they got older. They went to other teams. Yet Aaron was at fault because he always – and maybe Aaron was right. I was told he kind of always looked at Mike as sort of a dunce.
Okay, so –
and a play would come in early in his career and he would feel the need to change it. It's the wrong play versus the wrong look. And he got Mike out of a lot of jams too, but it kind of – Ryan Grant, I think, used an analogy. It kind of became AI, like artificial intelligence, where what was really great kind of went out of control. Now he's changing everything. He doesn't trust you as a head coach. He's doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants. Run plays are getting called to pass plays, and I think his relationship with Matt LaFleur wasn't toxic. Rodgers and LaFleur by any means. It seems like they got along fine from the outside looking in, but a lot of the same stuff, right? Like he wanted to kind of lean into what makes him great, and that's audibling, signaling, changing plays on the fly, and just doing his thing at the line of scrimmage instead of running the plays that are called and trusting that, all right, Matt LaFleur is calling this play to maybe set up that play, which is going to set up that play. And
that's not good. That's not a recipe for it.
That's not a recipe, no. So a lot of problems did kind of maybe repeat themselves. It wasn't as, didn't run amok into the headlines, and it didn't seem like they were button heads ego-wise like it might have before, but it was time.
I think that's where it's at.
And I think Dallas is going through the same thing, I guess is my point.
So
what's Dale? What's the
This is what I had to pull up, though. Here's what I had to pull up. Points per game, 4th. Points per play, 6th. These are stats I care. Yards per play, 14th. You'd like that up a little bit for those other numbers. That's a little off. Third down conversions, 5. I love this stat. Red zone scoring percent touchdowns. One of the key stats in football, touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Number 1. So something's off. His system works. Whatever McCarthy is doing is working. They are dominating on the offensive side of the ball. He's an offensive coach. So at some point, he's done that wherever he goes, whether it's Rodgers, Dak, he has elite top 5 Super Bowl stat numbers. I have to defend that because I feel like
you're right.
I've been hard on
Super Bowl away from he won a Super Bowl.
No, I didn't mean that.
You can't overlook that.
No, and that part too. It's like I feel like it's easy to because we do the Mount Rushmore. I do all these coaches. I feel are like we like to joke about coaches a lot, but I want to give some respect to like because I joke about McCarthy too. He does it, but I'm looking at his whole career. I'm like, I don't know if he's the problem anymore in Dallas. That's where I'm at. NFC. We're back to the NFC though. This is so perfect for the NFC. We don't even know. Like, is that good enough? Dallas has all these numbers. They're not good. Like the Eagles, they're not even good enough. Dallas, and those were their numbers. San Fran, loaded. Brock Purdy, no clue. Seattle, we love their team. Now, this is moment of truth for Geno Smith. This team is put together pretty well. You would say, right? Seattle, intrigued by?
Love Seattle. I think that Seattle is.
That could be a team that, a team with. We're not really top of our list, but they sneak up. I don't know. The NFC is wide.
I love what they did in the draft. I think passing on Jalen Carter was 100% the right move to go Devin Witherspoon over Carter. I was chatting with somebody in the know in that draft room, and basically, I'll just say this. Seattle was thrilled that the rest of the world thought that they were going to draft Jalen Carter because, your buddy Pete Carroll wants to take in troubled personalities and characters and wrap his warm, loving arms around you, and maybe he'll even give you a stick of gum or walk onto an elevator before you exit. Maybe if he really likes you, he lets you exit the elevator before he gets on.
God, I just want to see video now, like in their building, like just to see if it ever happened, like where he just came out again.
But I wrote about this. It was just for subscribers. So if you want to check it out, go longtd.com, subscribe today. We'd love to have you in the community. But yeah, some intel there that I thought was pretty interesting. They loved Witherspoon's football character. And I think that's something that Jalen Carter lacked. It's one thing to mislead police
what you read
and be in that incident, but beyond that, he's a player. Teams were genuinely concerned if he loved football, and this was pretty telling. In addition to Georgia teammates and coaches not really going to bat for him, Bob McGinn reported that in the series. But in addition to that, when he had that emotional moment with Roger Goodell, it's kind of it's one of those everlasting television moments we'll have from the draft. He's teary-eyed. He's grabbing the commish. It's like, what a moment, because is this commissioner going to be suspending him at some point? And here they are loving up on each other. This source told me that around the NFL, there were people who saw that and said, wow, that's the most emotion I've ever seen out of Jalen Carter. That he wasn't very forthcoming when it came to whatever happened in that high-speed chase race that led to deaths. They tried to learn about it, and he just really wasn't that contrite, open, just very, very cold. Now that could be an agent coaching up, could be the Rosenhaus gang coaching up Carter.
Just a lot.
Yeah, right. So it's hard to. All right, what does that say about him as a person?
So
I don't see him working out. I can't see Jalen Carter taking the NFL. Look, he didn't start. He wasn't a full-time starter until that last year. If he's such a big bad dude, why wasn't he starting?
There's something in his resume that is screams crazy talent. Crazy talent where they're going to risk love for football and distractions off the field for him. They did their work. We know the history, how they draft. He'll be a fascinating guy to pay attention to. I have seen it work. We have.
But if Seattle's not taking that chance, it's worked there. If they are even looking at you and saying no thanks.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd have to look into that more to say that's the reason. That's an indicator that Seattle, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're qualified necessarily because they passed on him that it won't work. I think Philly knows they can win a Super Bowl and get to the Super Bowl for sure in the NFC, what we're talking about. And they see this dude as a monster who can help them get to the Super Bowl. I'm using monster in the word in a compliment word. That is all have determined they're not worried about the distractions. They have determined they know enough about him that he will buy in and love football. Love football. You're never going to love it. If he doesn't love it, he's never going to love it. Can he show up? Is it important enough to be a professional and win a Super Bowl?
Well,
that's their gamble. That's their gamble that they made.
One scout told me if it doesn't work there, he deserves to fail. Because as you just said, it is a perfect situation.
But here's the best part. I promise you.
All those Georgia teammates, it's Super Bowl ready roster.
It's a stress-free pick. Everybody knows that pick was made knowing from owner down, just stop with the owner. That pick is made, the owner is thumbs up. Let's take a shot at him. You don't, it's not going to be a surprise to anybody. So it's, as a GM, you're like, just like, I hate to say it, it's like Carlos Williams on a lesser scale.
Top 10 pick, though.
That's what I'm saying, on a lesser scale.
Yeah. Sometimes I think we look at
a draft. You know what you're getting.
You look at a draft pick like that, though, in the moment, and it seems that way until Brian Daboll's New York Giants punch you in the mouth, and now you're fighting in the division. And, we could have used that player that was drafted at 13 or 14.
It was all right. It was everybody's on board. I don't think that will come back on it.
I do love Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jigba with Tyler Lockett, with DK Metcalf, with Kenneth Walker, and they draft 2 more running backs. The line, you draft your 2 tackles the year before. At corner, now you've got Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen.
Tyler, what we're saying?
I think Seattle.
I feel like, okay, we got to be careful.
Yeah, we can't say every single team is going to win a Super Bowl.
That's where I was going with it.
I feel like I'm being critical. I don't think Dallas. No, I'm not scared of Dallas. I tell you what, I don't like San Francisco as much as you.
They're incredible. But I don't trust the quarterback.
I don't know. At some point when you're it seems like they're this well-oiled machine. I get it. And this could be a take that you can just shoot. You can stuff it into a cannon and shoot it in my face.
I'm not messing with your takes today.
But you go through this many good coaches. A lot of really good coaches have been leaving San Francisco. Mike McDaniel, now DeMeco Ryans, Robert Saleh before that. I don't know. I think that catches up to you. And
I like
it's a dangerous game to play when you really think, like, you're Kyle Shanahan. This isn't even meant as a criticism, but your ego is so massive that he's gone back and forth on this. Oh, I got the placeholder in Jimmy Garoppolo. I can win with him. Oh, no, I need a freak. I got to trade 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back to the placeholder and Brock Purdy. It's like he's kind of been schizophrenic with his philosophy of the quarterback within his offense. And it worked. Brock Purdy, he was fine. They won with him. He was great. Decision maker. Great S2 score, by the way. And he was the ball got out. I feel like it's still a dangerous game to play because you're losing good coaches. You're losing some good players. All of those other players, and they've been through injuries. 49ers maybe more than any other teams they've lived in.
Baltimore and San Fran. That's all I always think
of. But the Debos and the Kittles and the Elijah Mitchells and McCaffreys. But these guys get
elite.
You kind of need you need them healthy at the right time, and a quarterback who isn't going to get hurt, and a quarterback who isn't going to turn the ball over, and a defense that's going to shut offenses down to win a Super Bowl. If you've got the quarterback, if you've got the potential for a stud quarterback having a stud game in the playoffs, you can overcome some of that other stuff in that moment. I don't think San Francisco has that.
Do they have Sam Darnold?
Some reports out of spring ball in San Francisco are pretty good on Mr. Darnold. From really good reporters, too, I must add. I'm not even mocking it.
Just going to say something.
Oh, here we go.
I have to try to get on your level.
We got to stop drinking during the day here in podcasting.
I have sparkling water.
That's right.
But there is one guy that we talk about every year when I watch these guys. Always, when we talk about the scores, the 2-point throws, the great throws, I'm telling you, Darnold has them. He can do things that other guys cannot, but until the turnovers stop, I don't know. But if Shanahan thinks somehow he can get that out of him.
Man.
Okay. Anyway.
That'd be such a Shanahan move, wouldn't it?
Yes.
You can't win with Sam Darnold, but I will.
It's just like Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. You've never had success before. I'll get you better in the AFC. I can get you better than all these other teams. Yeah, I'll take you right to the top. Shanahan, Rodgers, lot in common.
I get such a kick out of this little game they're playing with Trey Lance. Like it's such a
we
joke.
We don't even talk about him. We had people tell us. I'm going to boast a little bit. I mean, I at least said I didn't see it coming out of college. Like people are anointing him coming out.
I loved him. I still kind of like him a lot.
I'm not even saying that. It's not over yet for him either. But it's kind of strange that they have pretty much. They're the ones that have made it sound like it's over for him.
Right. I mean, they'll stand at the podium and deny the reports, but those reports are coming from somewhere.
I don't know.
Likely John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan gently,
if we can get
nudging it into the atmosphere. We're not looking to deal him, but if you're interested, let's talk. Maybe you need a quarterback come July or that's what's going to happen. One of these teams are going to get into OTAs, minicamp, early training camp, look at their quarterback situation and say, okay, we better make a trade. Let's bring a Trey in. Let's give this a shot.
So in summary for the NFC, every team can get there wide open. We didn't eliminate teams. Maybe that's what we got to do. Next episode, who is out in the NFC? Who has no chance in the NFC?
Arizona.
Sam Howell? They have Kyler Murray.
Yeah, but Arizona's such a mess. From the top down.
A mess.
What an abomination of an organization right now.
Agreed.
And when is Kyler Murray even going to play? Do you even want him to play? If he's so valuable and you're paying him
Trevor
that much
Lawrence,
money.
Kyler Murray right now.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, if we want to talk about cold takes.
What if I told you I disagree? I think Murray's actually – I'm not a huge Kyler Murray fan at all.
You just don't like Lawrence.
I feel like I'm trying to show you where he's at in my mind. I'm not saying I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I'm saying
scout.
I think these players are better than him. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
I think Arizona wins 2 or 3 games this year.
I'm not disagreeing.
Washington, what's the plan there? Sam Howell is the guy?
So we're eliminating Washington.
I'm not going to eliminate Washington.
No, I'm not either.
They've got a really good defense.
I'm not eliminating anybody in the NFC. Wide open.
It's tough. You're right. I mean, the Bears.
We didn't get to them.
They're going to win 3 or 4 games this year.
All right. I'm not disagreeing there either. I'm telling you, wide open, though.
All right. Jim, that was fun.
I like it. It goes back to it's fun.
This is the time for nonsense pods, right? There's not a lot happening.
Well, we were going to do NFC, but I think the dominant part of this is going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm going to have an official Trevor Lawrence ranking soon for us. Wait, from on my ranking on him, where he's at.
When I go down to Jacksonville, I'll try to corner Trevor at his locker, and I'm going to say, look, I do a podcast with Jim Monis.
And tell him it's the nobody cares about quarterback rankings. I always phrase that. Mm-hmm. Tell him.
I'm going to say you're not a believer, and that I am.
I'm a believer that he may be ranked 12th or 13th or 15th
You
in
said
the
it was
NFL.
a no-brainer. You would take a 39-year-old, broken down. He's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
Hey, what about Randall Cobb heading to the Jets?
Big difference maker. They keep adding. And you didn't see it coming. Joe Douglas must be having so much fun.
You can just scheme. You know what?
I always go to the front office when I see these signings.
All right, if you want to take all of the defensive backs in the NFL, all right, line them up on a practice field, and Randall Cobb goes one-on-one with all of them. What percentage of defensive backs in the NFL is Randall Cobb beating one-on-one at this point?
It's the hardest thing to do is cover. Because I don't know. His short area quickness is still there. He was never a burner. So he's still a good route runner. So
I think it's
tough.
I think it's a wish list situation.
I'm just trying to be positive.
Yeah,
I'm being positive.
A list of demands.
I don't want to take away. It's not Randall Cobb. He didn't do anything wrong. Randall Cobb didn't do anything wrong.
If you're running a team,
he's not on my list.
If you're running the Jets,
yes.
and
No.
you just whiffed on Zach Wilson.
I'll bring him to camp for Aaron. I can't guarantee he's making the team.
Okay.
How about that?
Thank God.
That's
because
how
then I'd really have to.
That's how I would do all those players though. I would say, look, whoever you want, can't guarantee anything for the roster.
It would be. Wouldn't that be a great? I mean, Hard Knocks has become just a watered down. It's just rough.
Know it's still on.
It's not the same. It was a little better with the Lions. There were some good moments with their guy Jamal Williams.
Yeah, but we get it.
But could you imagine if there was a Hard Knocks on the Jets and it was a real Hard Knocks, and Randall Cobb is one of the guys that they're featuring, and it gets down to cut down day and they cut Randall Cobb, and then you get an honest Aaron Rodgers behind the scenes. Sitting there with Rand. Like, what? I wonder what that Hard Knocks
would be the high-rated episode.
It would. But we'll never see it. We'll never see it. He'll go on McAfee and talk about it for sure.
It will be on ESPN now. Leaving a $120 million FanDuel deal to go to ESPN.
How much do you think they're paying him?
More than $120 million. Good for him.
Yeah.
That is a hustle. We said respect the hustle. Respect.
I saw his video. He pronounced how he is really kind of believes they've changed the game of sports media and that people can kind of emulate the way
I don't know enough
format.
about that, but I know that he got one big guy that was in the media a lot that helped.
Yeah, I got to think that helped.
I think it helped.
All right.
I think it will help a lot for this year.
Thanks, everyone. We appreciate you listening, watching, wherever you are. We'll catch you next time. I don't know when we're doing our next one. Maybe I'll when I'm down in Jacksonville, Atlanta, we'll report a
It'll be warmer.
Thanks a lot, everyone.